Hi, and welcome to How to Dress in a Virtual Environment. My name is Hannah Prodzic, and I'm here from the Career and Leadership Development Center's Career Closet to present to you today. So I wanted to take some time to tell you guys a little bit more about what we do here at the Career Closet. So our main goal is to provide students with business professional and casual clothes at no additional cost. We are a donation-based program, and a lot of the clothes we get are either from alumni, current faculty, as well as students here on campus. In the last academic year, we helped over 400 students dress for success. Every semester, a student can receive a complete outfit in the hopes of, at the end of your time here at Ohio University, you have the start to a professional wardrobe. Before we get started, I wanted to share our agenda and goal for today's workshop. So the first thing we're going to be discussing is what you should be wearing for virtual events, and then we're going to talk about some tips on how to prepare, and we're going to wrap things up with the resources available to you. So first, we're going to be talking about what you should be wearing for your virtual events. Our first piece of advice is to wear what you would be wearing in person, and this goes down to dressing head to toe. While whoever you're chatting with online might not see what you're wearing on the bottom half, we recommend dressing in fully head to toe. This way it kind of gets you in the professional mindset and kind of boost your confidence a little bit and get you ready for your event. We also recommend getting ready as you normally would. This includes grooming standards as well as hair and makeup. If you want a full workshop on professional dress, as well as what you should be wearing for each attire, I recommend you go ahead and watch our other workshop, Who What Wear Professional Dress, that is also on YouTube if you kind of want to get more in depth about it. This workshop, we're briefly going to be talking about some outfit ideas for virtual events, but that full workshop is listed below if you want to check it out. I first wanted to include this graphic that kind of compares business professional to the business casual attire. So as you can see in the graphics, something that is a defining characteristic of business professional is going to be that suit jacket and slacks, whereas business casuals can be a little bit more casual, as the name says, with a button down and some khakis. It's important that both of these looks are clean and professional. It's just there's kind of a difference in those. And next we're going to be talking about the difference between business casual and professional in some more detail and what you could be wearing as for those options. So we're going to start off talking about business casual. You can see the graphic on the right kind of explains a basic outline of what you should be wearing for business casual, but I also want to provide you guys with some different examples of what you could be wearing. The first being a cardigan and a dress shirt. This is a great way to layer and kind of dress up what you already have. You can also wear a button down and a tie and a sweater and a collared shirt. You can either layer these two or wear them as a separate piece. And next we have business professional. You can again see a graphic here on the right. And like I mentioned earlier, the defining characteristics of business professional would be that blazer. So we recommend wearing a blazer with a tie and a button down, or you can also pair it with a dress or a blouse, whatever you feel most comfortable in. So that kind of wraps up what you should be wearing. Again, I recommend checking out the full Who What Wear presentation if you're kind of stuck on what you should be wearing. So now I'm going to go into more of a general advice part of the presentation and kind of our recommendations to you guys. So the first is to prepare yourself ahead of time. This way you're going to rock whatever virtual environment you're going into. Our first piece of advice is to practice using the platform. You want to make sure you're comfortable and confident in whatever medium you're meeting in. So I recommend doing a test call with a friend just to kind of get the lay of the land of whatever platform you're using to kind of avoid some technical difficulties on the day of. The next is to have some notes and questions ready and available. One of the benefits of being in a virtual environment is that the employer or the interviewer, they can't see if you have any notes out, whether that be paper or kind of written on a sticky note on the side of your desktop. So I recommend using this to your benefit and having some notes, questions, ideas kind of off to the side to make sure you're on top of things. The next is to research the company and position you're interviewing for. You should be doing this regardless of it's virtually or not. I just wanted to remind you guys. Next, you can either listen to a pump-up song or give yourself quiet time to think and reflect. Another benefit of being in a virtual environment is that you can take time to get ready and prepare yourself on your own. Get yourself in that professional headspace to go ahead and get ready and rock your interview. And my last piece of advice is to schedule a virtual mock interview with the CLDC. Not only does this give you practice using your interview skills, but it also gives you practice interviewing virtually. So these are some of the advices that we have on how to prepare yourself. So next I wanted to discuss preparing your background. You can use your background as an accessory, so you want to make sure that it's professional for whatever event you're going to be speaking at. So the first piece of advice we have here is to have a clean and professional background. And what we mean by that is you want to make sure that it's nothing too distracting or busy that takes away from what you're speaking about. The next is you want to make sure you have good lighting so they can see your face. And next, you really want to be sure to have a quiet space without any distractions. A tip we have for you is to either rent an interview room in the CLDC or a room in a library. This guarantees a place without any distractions and space. But be sure to go online and make sure that there is room availability before you do that. Another piece of advice we have is if you can't transform your background is to use an Ohio themed background. If you click that link there, there's a folder of images, OU themed, that you can set as a background in Teams or Zoom to not only represent Ohio University, but also get that clean background in. I wanted to provide you guys with some examples of bad backgrounds. So here are my 2 bad examples. On the left, the problem with this background is that it's really cluttered. There's a lot going on and it can be distracting to pay attention to me when there's so much going on. The next is make sure that there are no alcohol bottles in your background. Even if you are of age, it's not very professional to have that. And I also have slouched posture. I don't look very engaged or quite happy to be there. And then the one on the right, it doesn't have the best framing, and there's a lot of backlighting, and you also can't see my full face in the sense of my upper body and stuff. It's kind of just a weird positioning. So these are what you are gonna want to avoid, and I'm now gonna show you some good examples. So here are my 2 good examples. The one on the left, you can see I used an OU theme background and you can see them on the college green. And then the one on the right, I used the blur background effect on Microsoft Teams. Now both of these setups, they have really good lighting. You can see my full face as well as my upper body, and it's just a really clean, slick, professional look. And then my last piece of advice is to prepare your setup. Now we mentioned earlier testing your platform, but you also want to test your technology. You want to make sure that your microphone is clear and not muffled, and you want to make sure you have a nice camera frame in which they can see your full face. You also want to make eye contact with the camera, not the monitor or yourself. This can be difficult to do, but making eye contact with the camera will make you seem like a more engaged participant. Next, you want to minimize distractions. If necessary, you can pull your hair back or find a chair that doesn't spin, whatever makes you still and present in the moment. And next, we recommend wearing headphones. This will improve your sound quality and help to block out the distracting noises that could be occurring. So that was all that I had prepared for you today, but before we end things, I wanted to leave you with 2 tidbits of knowledge before we send you on your way. The first being this transition to a virtual environment is new to everyone, and it's okay if things don't run smoothly the first time around. While we recommend testing out the platform and your setup, it's okay if things aren't perfect. We're all human, we all make mistakes, and that is totally fine. The next is you're going to want to treat this online interview as you would an in-person interview. Use this chance to showcase your strengths, connect with companies, and ask plenty of questions. So that was all that I had prepared for you today, and I just want to remind you guys that the Career Closet is here to help you Bobcats. If you go check out the link, you can find out how to access the Career Closet and the other services that the CLDC offers. I mentioned earlier having a mock interview. They also do some resume help, as well as we have online workshops available to you guys. And we highly recommend that you connect with us here at the Career Closet. Feel free to email us or you connect with us on Instagram. On Instagram, we try to post outfit ideas, some tips and tricks, as well as professional development events happening around campus. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope that you rock whatever you're about to do. Have a great day, Bobcats.